This content is the creative work of Channels Without Borders, all rights reserved 2025. Visit channelswithoutborders.com. Feel free to share this with friends. More information and links are in the description.
Can you speak more about the observer, who is not from the ego mind?
Good now. We have talked before about the observer. The observer is the one who is watching this movie that you call your life. What are perceived by your eyes are objects. These objects could be trees, birds, clouds, baskets, cars, or people. These are all a part of your movie. The body is also an object you see. If you have the goal to be one with your body, you want to make the subject and the object to be the same. This is not possible. You cannot simultaneously be the observer and the observed. You cannot watch yourself. You cannot do that any more than you can look at the window and say you are now one with the window. Something other than yourself or your body is doing the watching. The observer of the movie simply sees. It does not have the possibility of jumping up on the screen and acting at the same time. This is why we say that you are not your body. The you that is watching, the real you, cannot at the same time be what is watching. When you identify yourself with the character in your movie, you have ceased to notice that you are the watcher and now pretend yourself to actually be the object on the screen. But you're not an object. The body, the object, does not experience the movie. It's a part of the movie. The true you is the observer who watches the body and notices what it is doing, thinking, and feeling. If the thought arises that you want to experience oneness, you are saying that you lack oneness. This is not true. Your ego mind believes that it is separate, but the observer is one with what it sees, though it is not what it sees. The subject is not the object, though there is no separation. There is only oneness. There is no identification with the body. There is only the seeing of it. The observer is one with everything that is. It is the creator of all that is. The thought of wanting in the ego mind affirms its pretense of separation. You can notice that such a thought seems to exist in the ego mind. You cannot make yourself feel oneness. All you can do is notice the thoughts of separation the ego mind holds and bring the awareness back to the now and the next thought. You keep peeling away what is being held onto that stands in the way of experiencing the oneness. Thus, oneness is not a goal. It is what is always present. To try to experience that is to maintain the illusion of being separate from it. The only process is to let go of everything that isn't oneness. You don't try to change what is. That only feeds it. You simply do not dwell on the thoughts. The job is to be the noticer, not the thinker, the analyzer, or the understander. Let me give another picture of the perspective of the viewer. The ego mind sees time as a horizontal line. It sees the now as the point where the past and the future intersect. In truth, there is no point of now that exists because the movie is in constant motion. There is no way that you can try to be here now because now is a moving target. There may be an attempt to hold on to something that can never be grasped. The result is likely a sense of failure to stay present without finding You are easily slipping into the past. Even the intention to experience nowness comes from the mind, which is rooted in the past. Let's replace the horizontal timeline with a vertical axis. The viewpoint of the divine observer comes straight down and contacts only the moment, not the whole horizontal timeline. Nothing is seen except what is directly in front of the viewer. There is just what is. As long as the mind seems to wish to alter what is observed in any way, the appearance of separation is created. The viewpoint has returned to the horizontal timeline. The vertical perceives no past or future. Thoughts of wanting to be elsewhere are just seen as clouds in this moment's sky. They are noticed, and the eyes move on to the next thing that is presented. From the vertical perspective, there is no such thing as past or future. There is just what is. You cannot look from this perspective and see a younger you. You might observe a thought of a younger you, but it will be quickly replaced by another thought or feeling. No younger you exists. No older you exists. Nothing exists but what is present now. The object that is the you are perceiving may be having thoughts about an imagined past or future, but all that is there is that you now. Not only is there no reality in the past and the future, but what is being viewed is not real either. It is all a movie. If the actor on the screen is perceived as an object by the observer rather than as self, that is an awakened viewpoint. All there is to do is to notice the passing of a thought. If upon noticing the thought you jump in and try to fix, heal, or otherwise change the situation, perhaps believing that you are as you are because of your past, you are back in the ego mind game and can only be certain of continued pain and suffering. You have again tried to make the object out as the subject, which it isn't. Instead of looking down vertically at what is, you jump into the illusory timeline, trying to heal the past and change the future. You are divine as you are. There is nothing to heal, fix, or change. The you that is the observer sees with divine eyes. There is nothing to do to become enlightened. It is as simple as opening your eyes. Stop pretending to not be awake. See what is present without holding judgments. There is nothing that needs to be earned. It is your true birthright. Nothing has ever been done that needs to be atoned for. Nothing has ever actually been done. There is just now. See it from the vertical perspective. Seen for itself, there's nothing to be changed. Everything is perfect, and you are one with it. You are each watching your own movie. No two see the same film, even if they appear to be walking side by side. If you are thinking you are the character on the screen, you don't see what is happening. You see from your ego mind perspective. If you rewind your movie back 10 minutes, are you now in the past? Does that make the past real? You can jump all around in a movie. Does that make anything real? The movie has a beginning, which for you might look like birth. Did the viewer not exist before the movie began? The movie has an end, which is called death. The viewer is still there watching. If you are the actor, who is watching the actor? Through whose eyes do you see? Where are those eyes looking from? Can you be watching the movie and be in it at the same time? If you throw yourself against the screen, can you merge with the film? It's just a movie. It's not real. It's just up on the screen and you're watching it. Things become very simple. You are not the character on the screen. The movie is not real. You are just watching it. You can have no effect upon it. The movie has already been made. It's just playing. The script has been written. The actors have been cast. It has been directed and filmed. The special effects have been added. One way to help the letting go of seeing yourself as the body and the seeing of things as they are is to change your language. Certainly in your thoughts and out loud when you can get away with it. Stop referring to the physical body as I or me. Refer to that self in the third person. The words I am should stand alone, not to be followed by any descriptors. For example, rather than saying I am sad, try there appears to be sadness here. Go a step further and replace sadness with words that describe the bodily sensations that seem to be present. Wherever words carry a heavy emotional weight for you, look for more neutral descriptors to use. Otherwise, you will likely go back to acting as if you are the object instead of the subject. The question then arises as to how one becomes the observer instead of the observed. It's important to be aware that all questions are generated by the ego mind, which is unable to ever find satisfactory answers. You can be aware that as long as there are questions and any beliefs that the body and the world are real, there cannot be a looking from the observer taking place. All you can do is notice that you're still pretending to be the object and ask yourself, who is watching this? Where is the observer located? If it is within your body, then find it. If the self seems to be interacting with the movie, who is watching this interaction? Wherever interaction is perceived, that is the observed and not the observer. Take a step back and see who is observing the interaction. Each time you notice an identification with the actor, take another step back and see who is observing this. The part that wants to interact and believes that the movie can be changed is not the true you, the observer, who is simply noticing all of this. The movie, however, cannot be changed, and so the actor is constantly frustrated. It is even scripted as to how long you will resist, argue, question, and continue to try to change the unchangeable before you give up trying and fall back to your true place as the observer. You appear to have the choice to continue flailing away or to sit back, enjoy the show, and say, "Pass the popcorn, please." You can't make yourself let go and watch from the observer's eye, nor can you stop yourself from doing it. You cannot will yourself into being the observer because you already are that. All that you can do is notice where you wish to act and stop doing it. One of the games of the ego mind is to say that if you are just the observer, you will no longer have any involvement with your movie, with other people, or with the world. The object you in the movie will still interact, but not in any attempt to change the movie, nor with any goal or outcome in mind. The responses and actions will just be whatever is moving in the now. It's like improv theater. There's no conscious script nor outcome in mind. One simply responds spontaneously to the scene. The next response is absolutely dependent only on the new cues presented. There is no forethought nor afterthought. That is the game. It is comparable to a tennis match. All that matters is this shot. If your mind is anywhere else, you're not fully present for the next volley. This is just a movie. You know that you're not going to change anything. You are aware of no purpose, yet there you are, and you fully engage in the moment. But what possible reason could there be for an apparent birth and death, activities and relationships, failures and successes, ups and downs, all just to disappear? The ego wants you to believe that there is a purpose, a meaning in all of this. Where is it found? The observer just witnesses apparent activity. It sees no plan. Ego mind creates a story with a beginning and ideally a happy ending. Spirit mind sees just life appearing to happen. Even for you on a spiritual path, there's the thought that you will wake up and then understand the purpose and meaning of your life. You are already awake, and you can stop chasing your tail. You can begin that task by asking yourself, who is chasing your tail? As you step back and observe from the true you, however, instead of understanding the answer, you will find that there are no questions. Some would say that the experience then is one of absolute love, not as an opposite of hate or fear, but a steady state, no matter what seems to be happening on the screen. In conclusion, neither I nor anyone else can tell you how to accomplish the feat of releasing the ego self and viewing everything from the divine perspective. Nor can anyone explain to you what it will be like to realize the divine view. Nobody will be there to have such an experience. There will be no sense of being awakened or enlightened, because those are ideas of the separated mind. It's easier to try to tell what won't be there. There will be nothing to fix. There will be no responsibilities. There will be nothing to understand. There will be no questions. Any questions? Good now.
This content is the creative work of Channels Without Borders, all rights reserved 2025. Visit channelswithoutborders.com. Feel free to share this with friends. More information and links are in the description. If this touched your heart, subscribe and receive more light.